Deep in a world overtaken by shadows, where darkness was more than an absence of light, there was a black-armored warrior known as Varian. He was a fearless outsider, a legend among the few who dared to challenge the evil creatures that plagued the land. Varian's armor was forged in the flames of the ancients' forge, impregnated with enchantments that protected him from the claws of the demons that populated that desolate kingdom. His sword, dark as the night itself, was an extension of his will, cutting through the darkness with deadly precision. Varian's world was a place where the screams of the damned echoed among the ruins, and the moon never shone its silver light. Grotesque creatures, deformed by corruption, roamed every corner of the land, feeding on the fear and hopelessness of the few survivors. Varian walked alone through the cursed lands, his only companion the constant echo of his footsteps across the desolate land. His journey had no clear destination. It was a relentless search for justice in a world where justice seemed a distant and forgotten concept. The first threat he faced was a pack of ravenous demons, creatures with red eyes and razor-sharp claws. Varian faced them fearlessly, his sword cutting through the air in deadly arcs. The fight was intense, but the black-armored warrior emerged victorious, the defeated demons lying limp at his feet. As he advanced, Varian encountered ruins of a once grand city, now reduced to rubble and ash. Among the shadows, he heard murmurs of lost souls, sighs of despair that echoed in the broken walls. The demons that roamed there were different, more subtle, hiding in the shadows like living shadows. Varian realized that his journey was not just a physical battle, but also a fight against the very fabric of darkness that permeated the world. He faced demons that whispered lies in his mind, trying to undermine his courage. However, Varian's black armor was a barrier against the deceptions of that dark realm. One stormy night, Varian found an unholy altar, a place where dark forces seemed to gather. There, he faced a demon of colossal size, an entity whose eyes glowed with an ancient malice. The battle was fierce, thunder rumbling in the sky as Varian dodged the monster's attacks. The black-armored warrior's sword glowed with a dark light, cutting through demonic flesh with ruthless determination. The battle reached its climax when Varian, driven by an ancient force, thrust his sword into the demon's heart, dissipating its form into ethereal shadows. As Varian explored deeper into the dark territory, he discovered that the darkness was not just physical, but also manifested itself in the hearts of creatures, and sometimes in the hearts of the few humans that remained. He found villages racked by despair, where hope was an almost forgotten concept. Among the rubble of an ancient temple, Varian found a lone priest, dressed in rags and marked by years of suffering. The priest explained that a corrupt sorcerer had plunged the land into darkness, opening portals to dark dimensions and releasing unspeakable horrors. Determined to purify the kingdom, Varian sought out the malevolent sorcerer, following the trails of corruption that permeated the ground. The path led him to a labyrinth of caves, where twisted and aberrant creatures writhed in the shadows. The sorcerer, a hooded figure with burning eyes, waited in the heart of the labyrinth. He cast dark spells, summoning demons that emerged from the crevices between the rocks. Varian faced each challenge with tenacity, advancing inexorably towards the sorcerer. The battle between Varian and the sorcerer was a deadly dance of magic and steel. The black-armored warrior faced the darkness with courage that transcended human limits. With a final blow, Varian broke through the sorcerer's defense, his sword penetrating the dark heart that drove the evil forces. With the sorcerer's defeat, the kingdom began to shake, as if an ancient weight was finally lifted. The darkness that enveloped the world began to dissipate, and rays of light cut through the stormy clouds. The evil creatures that roamed the land disappeared like shadows at sunrise. Varian, exhausted and scarred from his battles, watched as the land broke free of the dark chains that had held it captive for so long. People who had been held hostage by despair began to emerge from their refuges, looking at the horizon with eyes that had long forgotten hope. Thus Varian, the black-armored warrior, became a legend revered in the songs of the bards, a symbol of courage in a world where darkness tried to suffocate all light. His name was whispered reverently, reminding everyone that even in the darkest places, the light of courage could shine and